of excitement about learning due to how Moodle is set up. And it's really easy because of the support. You do need support. It's very hard to learn Moodle on your own. So yeah, support is number one, and I do provide that. Okay, I'm going to give you back your audio and mute my mic.
Amazing, amazing, really, Nellie. It just brings back all these beautiful memories working with Wiki Educator with you and the team, and receiving badges and honors, and being promoted and all. Very rewarding and very exciting. I can really attest to that. Back to a couple of things, really. The idea of hosting and the idea of the materials. Maybe I wasn't very explicit about that. You know that we all create worksheets, like offline traditional worksheets that we use in class. These are bound to be adapted for online platforms. So my question that I really asked before was, do I really have to have real activities, ready-made activities and worksheets to facilitate the process for me to convert that into online, into the online platform, of a Moodle, instead of just starting from scratch and playing around with tools without a purpose? So would that be a better idea? Just have something I can play with, something authentic that I really created for my class purposes. That was my question related to, the materials and traditional courses to convert to an online platform. The second one that I would like to highlight is the idea of hosting. The idea of hosting, I understand that Moodle is not like other platforms. It's an open source. An open source that is normally, if I download it, it works offline. To just put it online, I need to have some kind of, professional technical support, some host online to accommodate my offline Moodle. I understand that, your platform works differently, and it does provide teachers like myself who don't really have an institution that can support them. You do provide that space. My question to you here, is that really true? You provide that space, and for how long? Is that like a limited time or unlimited, or what? Back to you.
Going to the next stage. Okay. The first stage is learning to Moodle. Okay. And that, once you get the hang of it and you want to have your own Moodle site, Moodle is free, but it needs to be hosted. And the hosting can cost a lot of money, which is one of the reasons why I developed a hosting company for teachers who are interested in hosting their Moodle. So I host and install Moodle websites or, Moodle sites on my server. I have a dedicated server. Actually, I have a few dedicated servers. So I provide this service. I'm not only an English teacher, but I turned into a tech person. So actually, I do most of the installation, the Moodle installation myself, but I also have a Moodle co-worker, someone that I work with, who does the more difficult coding and he takes care of problems that I can't take care of. But what I do most of the day, actually, these days, is troubleshoot, because there are problems with Moodle, and Moodle can be very expensive. In fact, there are Moodle partners who charge upfront from $6,000 to way up there. And I don't think that's right for teachers who want to teach online, which is why I provide hosting. But I think that, for teachers starting out, it might be a good idea to first teach a few courses on integrating technology, and then once you become popular and you want to do more, then think about going and hosting somewhere else. And if you want to host with me, that's fine. I provide all the technical support that you would need and all the help. So that's something I can do. But I don't recommend it to start out with, even though, for me it's money. But I suggest teachers go through the free and then start teaching slowly and feel comfortable, and everything should be fine. Yeah, it is expensive. In fact, even Atlantic University, I was hosting them for about 4 years, and then we parted ways. But even schools in different parts of the world can't afford this. It's pretty expensive, but that's how it's run. There are reasons for it. If you have a big company and you're charging and you have to pay Martin Dobianis, the founder of Moodle, that's how he makes his money. So, it's like when you buy bread. If you bake it at home, it's going to cost you a little bit. But if you're going to buy it, it may be even more expensive because it goes through a lot of hands. And that's what happens with Moodle. It goes through a lot of hands, which is why I do what I do. I hope I answered your question about that. That's the hosting. About the material work, the content and the face-to-face, because I've been teaching face-to-face for longer than I've been teaching online. I mean, I started teaching online in 1992, and I started way before that. So you don't really go from face-to-face to the online environment. It's not the same thing. So if you want to teach face-to-face and you want to supplement with different things, then that's what Moodle is about. It's about supplementing your face-to-face, is what's called blended learning. That's how I started. I started using Moodle in 2003 in my face-to-face classes, and I used a web quest. The Giver, the Perfect Society, you can find it online. And so it was different because online, just as you know, face-to-face, you have paper. Online, you can print. And what Moodle does is it allows your students and yourself to print everything. Everything can be printed through Exhibits. I've added, there are different ways, but there are portfolios where you can actually download everything into your computer system, and you can bring things from your computer system to the Moodle. So it works both ways, and you can, of course, print everything, whether it's PDF files or if you want to Word files or whatever you need, the flashcards, you can create them online and then print them out. So it depends on what you're trying to do. I think that's really, really important, Hanaa. What, as a teacher, are you trying to do? It's not just using technology. It's using it to your advantage. So what would you like your students to be able to do? If you want them to speak and to produce language, you could use Poodle. And then you can, you can evaluate them on the quality of their speech. That's one example. And when I say Poodle, I mean let me go back here in case you missed it. It's directly from the, let me see if I can find, there it is. It's the MP3, MP4. So your students simply pick up the microphone and they record themselves. They can do this in class and they can do it at home. As I said, when I started with Moodle, I used it as homework. In other words, I wanted to get my students to not only do things in class, in the computer lab, but I wanted them to work at home, and they wanted to work at home, and that was the exciting thing. that you want to do more when it comes to taking courses on Moodle. And I think Nevis is here. Maybe she'd like to speak about her experiences with Moodle. Hanaa, I'm going to mute my mic and bring you back here. I think I moved things around here, so I lost just a second. Let me get you back here. There we go. Okay. I'll mute my mic.
Thank you very much, Nellie. Real intriguing. And I'm glad that you mentioned the whole point behind not just use technology for the sake of technology. It's why do I need to use that particular platform? So yes, am I going to blend my course, supplement it, just put part of it online and just get my students to refer to it? Or do I want to create a truly 100% virtual experience online? So yeah, that's something to consider before I get to start my own Moodle. And that takes me to the point of how do I promote it if I want to promote it and get students to enroll? What are the mechanisms? What are the techniques for promotion?
Promotion is difficult. Even Susan, that's the first thing she says. It's not easy. And we all know that. I mean, people who sell online know that it's not easy to promote their work, even though they're doing wonderful work. But how will people know about what I'm doing? I'm producing, whatever, artwork. How are people going to know about it? Social networks. That's what works these days, unless it's by word of mouth and you want to do it face-to-face. But online, and this is something that I provide for teachers as well, you can do it through Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, emails. If you've got a list, Tumblr, which is a free blog, through Yahoo, and there are more. I think that that's the way it's generally done. You can do this for free, or you can pay. They're all, you can pay for Twitter through ads through Twitter, AdWords, and through Facebook. I'm not sure if Google Plus has it yet, but I think Pinterest has started with paid ads as well. So that seems to be the way to go. But I think word of mouth is probably the best way, or presentations such as this one. At conferences, you can also promote your courses, but generally your students are your best, I think they're your best promoters, because they know exactly what the course is about and they enjoyed it, and they could be your testimonials on how it was. I'll mute my mic.
Well, I guess you've covered most of the questions, Nellie. That something that would occur to somebody who's novice, somebody who's wondering about what Moodle is all about. Is it something for me to try out, get a free training and have a feel for it? Interestingly, I believe you have, a couple of, moderators, fellow I would say ex-trainees and now moderators who've been, well trained, and now they moderate their online courses, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Nevis and Tom, if I'm right. All right. And I wonder if any of them would like to share their personal experience with the whole, idea of training online, receiving Moodle training, how they evolved, what is that they actually do at the moment. That would help our members, just have a sense of purpose behind the whole thing of receiving that particular training, if you agree with me. Back.
Fine. Yeah, Nevis is okay. Let me know, because I don't even know what time it is where you are. I hope it's okay. I noticed that Ayat, mentioned something here about pedagogy, technology. Where is it? Oh, yeah, it's the pedagogy, not